Think your family holiday drama is bad? At least you didn't accidentally propose to meet with a skywriter or light your Santa beard on fire while getting down on one knee. We are counting down 49 of the absolute dumbest, most disastrous Christmas proposal fails of all time. From live turkeys flying out the window with diamond rings to emergency vet visits because the dog ate the bling. If you want to feel better about your own love life, smash that like button, comment "oof" for these fallen soldiers, and subscribe right now before the fire department shows up. Let's unwrap the chaos. 1. A hopeful boyfriend thought it would be hilarious to sit on a mall Santa lap to propose. He waited in line with screaming toddlers for an hour. When he finally sat down, the poor Santa looked exhausted. He pulled out the ring, but the extra weight was too much for the flimsy display chair. The entire throne collapsed backward off the platform with a loud crash. They tumbled into the giant plastic elf display while parents gasped. The ring bounced into a fountain full of pennies, and security guards had to fish him out. The girlfriend walked away while kids cried because they thought Santa was dead. 2. A romantic guy wanted to propose during the family Christmas dinner by hiding a platinum ring inside the roast turkey stuffing. He spent all day cooking the bird to perfection while everyone waited hungrily. He placed the heavy platter on the table and went to get his camera. A massive family dog jumped up and grabbed the entire turkey. The beast ran through the house with the steaming bird in its mouth. The family chased the animal into the snowy yard screaming. The dog swallowed the stuffing and the ring in one gulp. The girlfriend spent her engagement night at the emergency vet clinic, waiting for nature to take its course. 3. A tech-obsessed boyfriend bought a high-end drone to fly the engagement ring down to his waiting girlfriend. He practiced for weeks in the garage, but forgot about the winter wind gusts. He launched the device while the family watched from the porch. A sudden blast of wind slammed the drone directly into the girlfriend's perfectly styled hair. The rotors got tangled instantly and started buzzing loudly like a giant angry insect. She screamed while the machine ripped out chunks of her hair. Her mother had to use kitchen scissors to cut the drone free. He proposed to a bald spot. 4. A romantic guy rented out a private section of the local ice rink for a magical moment on skates. He was not a strong skater, but felt confident holding the ring box. He skated toward her with speed, but hit a rough patch of ice. He wiped out spectacularly and slid across the rink on his stomach like a penguin. The ring box flew out of his hand and skated into a hockey drain in the corner. A team of maintenance workers spent 3 hours taking the pipes apart. The girlfriend sat on the bench, freezing, while he cried. 5. A funny uncle suggested wrapping the ring box inside 20 increasingly larger boxes to annoy the girlfriend. The boyfriend spent hours wrapping the gift with duct tape and heavy paper. The girlfriend started unwrapping it, but got frustrated after the 10th box. She became so angry at the prank that she threw the remaining unopened boxes into the lit fireplace. The boyfriend screamed and dove into the flames to save the jewelry. He burned his eyebrows off and ruined the carpet with soot. She broke up with him for being too annoying, and he spent Christmas in the burn unit. 6. A dedicated man spent 3 days stapling Christmas lights to the roof to spell out the big question. He waited for the whole neighborhood to gather outside before flipping the switch. A fuse blew immediately, and half the lights shorted out. Instead of asking for her hand in marriage, the roof just displayed a very rude 4-letter word in bright red. The neighbors covered their children's eyes, and the homeowners association fined him $500. The girlfriend was so embarrassed, she got in her car and drove to her parents' house. He was left alone on the ladder. 7. A wealthy suitor hired a professional choir to sing a love song on the front lawn. He planned to step out and propose at the high note. The choir slipped on black ice and knocked over a row of expensive decorative nutcrackers. The domino effect caused the lead singer to fall through the front bay window. Glass shattered everywhere, and the family dog attacked the singer, thinking he was an intruder. The police arrived with sirens blaring just as the man pulled out the ring. The proposal turned into a crime scene investigation, and the girlfriend refused to come outside. 8. A baker boyfriend decided to bake the engagement ring directly inside a batch of gingerbread men. He handed his girlfriend the special cookie with the diamond hidden in the stomach. She was starving and took a massive bite without looking. A loud crack echoed through the kitchen as her front veneer shattered on the hard platinum band. She spit out blood and the ring onto the table while her mother screamed. The emergency dentist was closed for the holiday, so she spent Christmas with a gap in her smile. He tried to propose anyway, but she couldn't speak clearly. 9. A city boy booked a horse-drawn carriage ride through the downtown park to look like a movie star. The horse was old and had digestive issues from too many holiday treats. Just as the man knelt down in the carriage, the horse let out a massive cloud of gas. The smell was so overpowering that the girlfriend started gagging uncontrollably. The horse got spooked by the noise and bolted through a red light. The carriage tipped over into a slush puddle and dumped them both out. They walked home, smelling terrible and covered in brown slush. 10. An overly creative cop thought it would be funny to have his buddies pull his girlfriend over for a fake arrest. The officers pulled her out of the car and handcuffed her on the side of the road. She was terrified and started crying hysterically, thinking she was going to jail. When the boyfriend popped out with a ring, she didn't realize it was a joke. She kicked him in the shins with her high heels and ran into the woods. The police had to chase her for a mile. She sued him for emotional distress instead of marrying him. 11. A rugged outdoorsman wanted to propose after cutting down the perfect tree in the forest. He found a massive pine tree and started chopping away while his girlfriend watched. He miscalculated the angle, and the tree began to fall toward her new car. The trunk crushed the roof of her sedan and shattered the windshield completely. The car alarm started blaring and wouldn't stop. He shouted the proposal over the noise of the siren, but she was too busy screaming about her insurance deductible. They had to ride back in the tow truck in total silence. 12. A theater enthusiast organized a flash mob of 50 dancers in the town square. It was 10 degrees below zero, and the dancers were wearing thin costumes. Half of them slipped on the ice during the first move and created a pile of bodies. The speaker system shorted out from the snow and made a loud screeching noise. The boyfriend tried to keep dancing but slipped and kicked his girlfriend in the knee. An ambulance had to come for 3 of the dancers who had hypothermia. The girlfriend pretended she didn't know him and walked into a coffee shop. 13. An extreme sports fan planned to propose on a ski lift 50 feet in the air. He took his gloves off to hold the ring box, but his hands were frozen numb. The lift jerked suddenly, and the ring slipped from his stiff fingers. It fell into the deep powder snow in a restricted area below. He jumped off the lift to save it and broke his leg on impact. The ski patrol had to sled him down the mountain while his girlfriend watched from above. They never found the ring until the snow melted in April. 14. A sneaky husband to be put the ring box in the toe of a stocking filled with heavy coal as a joke. He hung it on the fireplace mantel, which was blazing with a hot fire. The weight of the coal was too much for the hook, and the stocking fell into the flames. The synthetic fabric melted instantly, and the ring box caught fire. He tried to grab it with his bare hands and burned his palms. The fire alarm went off, and the sprinklers soaked the entire living room. The family ate soggy pizza while the house dried out. 15. A desperate man bought a golden retriever puppy and tied the ring to its collar with a ribbon. He let the puppy loose in the house to run to his girlfriend. The puppy was not house-trained and immediately had an accident on the expensive Persian rug. The girlfriend started yelling at the dog just as it chewed through the ribbon. The puppy swallowed the diamond ring and ran under the sofa. The romantic evening turned into a wait for the dog to go to the bathroom. The vet bill cost more than the wedding band itself. 16. A spiritual guy bought 50 paper lanterns to release into the night sky as a signal of his love. He lit the first one and wrote his proposal on the side in marker. The wind caught the lantern and blew it directly into a dry pine tree in the neighbor's yard. The tree went up in flames, like a torch, within seconds. The fire department arrived and sprayed foam over the entire block. The neighbor came out with a garden hose screaming profanities. The police issued him a citation for arson, and the girlfriend went home to avoid arrest. 17. A playful boyfriend built a giant snowman in the front yard and placed the ring on its carrot nose. He waited inside for his girlfriend to come home from work to see it. A herd of wild deer came through the yard before she arrived. One buck ate the carrot and the ring along with it. The boyfriend ran outside, chasing the deer down the street in his slippers. He spent the night tracking animal droppings in the woods with a flashlight. His girlfriend found him freezing in a bush and thought he had lost his mind completely. 18. A lavish spender hired a diver to hold a sign inside the giant aquarium at a seafood restaurant. The diver swam down to the window where the couple was eating. A shark in the tank got curious and bit the air hose of the diver. The diver panicked and thrashed around, smashing into the glass right in front of their table. Water started leaking onto the floor, and the restaurant was evacuated. The bill was thousands of dollars for the damage. The girlfriend left because she was traumatized by the near-death experience of the diver. 19. A bold man rented a digital billboard on the side of the highway to display his face and the question. He drove his girlfriend past it, but traffic was moving too fast. He slammed on the brakes so she could see it and caused a 5-car pile up. The airbags deployed and hit them both in the face with white powder. The police arrived and saw the billboard, which served as evidence of his distracted driving. He got a reckless driving ticket, and his insurance rates doubled. She said no, because he almost killed her on the interstate. 20. A quiet guy decided to slip the ring on her finger while she was sleeping so she would wake up engaged. He crept into the room and tried to slide it on her hand. She woke up thinking she was being attacked by an intruder in the dark. She punched him directly in the nose and broke it with a loud crunch. Blood went everywhere on the white sheets. He screamed in pain while she called 911, hiding in the closet. The paramedics had to explain to her that it was just a proposal gone wrong. 21. A massive sports fan wanted to propose at a professional basketball game on the giant screen. He paid a fortune for the camera time during the halftime show. The camera operator zoomed in on the wrong couple sitting directly next to them. The random man next to him kissed his own wife while the message appeared. The real girlfriend got confused and thought the stranger was proposing to her. She slapped the innocent man for being a creep. The team mascot tried to fix the situation, but tripped over a popcorn vendor. The entire stadium booed the confusion, while the boyfriend sat there holding the ring in silence. He tried to explain, but the Jumbotron operator cut the feed to a commercial for spicy nachos. 22. A puzzle lover created a complex scavenger hunt across the entire city for his girlfriend. The final clue led to a locker at the central train station. He waited there for hours with flowers in the ring. A security guard saw the girlfriend running around frantically looking for a suspicious package. The bomb squad was called because she looked too panicked near the lockers. They detonated the locker contents as a safety precaution. The ring was blown into smithereens, along with the flowers. He had to explain to the police why he sent her on a chase. She left him for being too dramatic, and he spent the night in a holding cell while she went home to eat leftover ham alone. 23. A wealthy businessman hired a plane to fly a banner with a proposal over a beach party. The pilot had a few too many festive drinks before the flight. He flew way too low, and the banner got snagged on a tall palm tree. The plane jerked, and the banner ripped in half, leaving only the words, "Will you?" The bottom half, with "Marry Me," fell onto a barbecue grill and caught fire. The girlfriend thought he was breaking up with her publicly. She threw her drink in his face and stormed off. The pilot had to make an emergency landing in the ocean. The Coast Guard had to fish the pilot out while the couple watched from the shore in awkward silence. 24. A classy gentleman went to a 5-star restaurant to propose with a ring in a champagne glass. The waiter was new and very nervous about serving the expensive table. He accidentally swapped the glasses and gave the ring glass to the girlfriend's grandmother. The old lady took a huge gulp and swallowed the diamond ring whole. She started choking, and the waiter had to perform the Heimlich maneuver violently. The ring flew across the room and landed in a bowl of soup at another table. The grandmother was traumatized, and the girlfriend was too disgusted to say yes to the proposal. The manager gave them the meal for free, but banned them for life. 25. A tropical romantic wrote his proposal in huge letters in the sand near the ocean. He used rose petals to fill in the letters for a beautiful effect. He went to get his girlfriend from the hotel room to show her the surprise. A rogue wave crashed onto the beach just as they walked out onto the balcony. The water washed away the entire message and dragged the expensive petals out to sea. A stray dog ran up and peed on the spot where the question used to be. She asked him what he was looking at, and he just cried silently. He tried to explain the effort, but she thought he was hallucinating from the heat. 26. A frugal boyfriend learned how to steam open a fortune cookie to replace the paper. He inserted a slip that said, "Will you marry me?" inside the cookie. They went to a busy Chinese restaurant for Christmas Eve dinner. The waiter cleared the table and brought a fresh bowl of cookies for everyone. The boyfriend panicked and tried to grab the specific cookie, but it was too late. A random guy at the next table got the special cookie. He read it out loud and his own. Girlfriend started screaming with joy. The boyfriend watched another couple get engaged with his hard work. He sat there eating his plain cookie while his girlfriend asked why he looked so angry. 27. An adventurer booked a private hot air balloon ride for a sunrise proposal. The wind was stronger than predicted and blew them off course. The pilot had to make a crash landing in a muddy cow pasture. The basket tipped over and dumped the couple into deep fresh manure. The ring box fell into the mud, and a cow stepped on it immediately. The boyfriend tried to dig it out, but the farmer came out with a shotgun. They were charged with trespassing while covered in filth. The romantic flight ended with a police escort back to the main road. The girlfriend refused to ride in his car until he showered twice. 28. A lake lover took his girlfriend out on a small rowboat for a quiet moment. He stood up to propose, which rocked the tiny boat violently. He lost his balance and fell overboard into the freezing water. In his panic, he grabbed the side of the boat and flipped it over. The girlfriend was dumped into the icy lake in her heavy winter coat. The ring sank to the muddy bottom, never to be seen again. They had to swim to shore while suffering from hypothermia. She refused to speak to him for a month after he almost drowned her. He hired a diver later, but only found a rusty tin can and an old boot. 29. A guitar player wrote a specific song to propose to his girlfriend at a family party. He set up a huge amplifier in the small living room. He cranked the volume to the max to make a big impact. He struck the first chord, and the feedback was so loud, it shattered the grandmother's hearing aid. The windows rattled and a heavy picture frame fell on his head. He was knocked unconscious for a minute while the guitar kept screeching. The girlfriend had to unplug the amp while calling the paramedics. The family banned him from bringing instruments to any future holiday events. He woke up with a concussion and a very angry future mother-in-law. 30. A romantic soul lit 500 tea light candles in his apartment to spell out the question. The room was incredibly hot and the oxygen was burning up fast. He went to the bathroom to freshen up before she arrived. The cat knocked over one single candle near the curtains. The fabric caught fire and spread to the sofa instantly. The fire sprinklers activated and flooded the entire apartment with dirty water. The girlfriend opened the door to find him soaking wet in a ruined apartment. The landlord evicted him the next day for creating a massive fire hazard. She helped him move, but told him he was too irresponsible to marry right now. 31. An amateur magician wanted to make the ring appear from behind her ear. He practiced the sleight of hand for weeks in front of a mirror. During the big moment, his hand shook from nerves, and he dropped the ring. It fell down the front of her low-cut dress and got stuck. He tried to reach in and retrieve it without thinking. She slapped him hard across the face, thinking he was being inappropriate in front of her parents. The ring fell out onto the floor and rolled under the heavy refrigerator. He spent the engagement digging under appliances. Her father watched him struggle on the floor and told him to go home immediately. 32. An animal lover arranged a special encounter with a penguin at the local zoo. The keeper gave him the ring to hold, while the penguin walked over. The bird thought the shiny ring was a fish and snatched it from his hand. The penguin swallowed the diamond instantly and waddled away happily. The zookeeper said they would have to wait for the digestive process to retrieve it. The couple had to follow the penguin around for 6 hours waiting for poop. The magic of the moment was ruined by the smell of fish and bird waste. She said yes eventually, but refused to wear the ring until it was professionally sanitized 3 times. 33. A hiker took his girlfriend to the top of a waterfall for a scenic view. He knelt down on a slippery, mossy rock right at the edge. His knee slid out from under him, and he tumbled toward the water. He managed to grab a branch, but the ring box flew out of his hand. It sailed over the edge and fell 200 feet into the crashing water below. He hung there dangling while his girlfriend screamed for help. The park rangers had to rappel down to save him. The ring is now a permanent part of the river ecosystem. He proposed in the ambulance wrapped in a thermal blanket, but she was too in shock to answer. 34. A determined artist climbed a ladder to paint a mural proposal on a wall. He was halfway through the question when a police car rolled up. He got startled and kicked the paint bucket over onto the officer. The blue paint covered the policeman from head to toe. He was arrested immediately for vandalism and assaulting an officer. His girlfriend drove by and saw him being handcuffed in the back of the cruiser. She had to bail him out of jail on Christmas morning. The unfinished mural just said, "Will you ma?" and looked like a bad graffiti tag. She made him paint over it the next day before discussing marriage. 35. A car enthusiast filled the trunk of his car with balloons in the ring. He asked his girlfriend to open the trunk to get a tire iron. The release latch was jammed because of the cold weather. He tried to force it open with a crowbar while she watched confused. The crowbar slipped, and he smashed the rear window into a million pieces. The balloons popped loudly like gunshots and scared the neighbors. The police were called for a reported shooting. He ended up with a broken window and a terrified girlfriend who refused to look in the trunk. The mechanic bill cost more than the engagement ring itself. 36. A nature lover took his girlfriend winter camping to propose under the stars. He left, the ring wrapped in bacon in his backpack to hide the scent. A black bear smelled the bacon and raided their campsite while they slept. They woke up to see the bear tearing apart the backpack and eating the bacon. The bear swallowed the ring along with the snacks. They had to run to the car and lock themselves in for safety. The bear wandered off into the woods with the heirloom diamond. He had to explain to his mother that a bear ate her ring. The girlfriend decided she preferred indoor hotels and city boys after that night. 37. A patient man had a custom jigsaw puzzle made that showed him proposing. He spent hours building it with his girlfriend on a snowy evening. They got to the very last piece, which showed the ring and the question. The piece was missing from the box because the factory made an error. They searched the floor for an hour thinking they dropped it. The picture just looked like a man kneeling for no reason. The moment was completely anticlimactic and frustrating. He had to draw the ring on a piece of cardboard to finish the proposal. She laughed at his drawing skills but felt bad about the missing piece, ruining the big reveal. 38. A social media influencer set up a live stream to broadcast his proposal to his fans. He set the tripod on a wobbly table near the stairs. As he knelt down, he bumped the table and the phone fell. It tumbled down the stairs while still streaming, live to thousands of people. The phone landed facing a pile of dirty laundry and cat litter. The viewers watched the cat use the litter box while the boyfriend ran down screaming. The comments section filled with laughing emojis. The girlfriend broke up with him for caring more about the stream than her. He lost 10,000 followers that night and his dignity. 39. A committed biker decided to get a tattoo of her name and the question. He went to a cheap shop to save money for the ring. The artist was inexperienced and misspelled the word marry as Mary. It read, "Will you marry me?" permanently on his chest. He showed her the tattoo proudly and she burst into laughter. She asked who Mary was and why he wanted to be her. He had to spend thousands on laser removal before she would give an answer. The scar from the removal looked even worse than the bad spelling. She eventually agreed, but made him wear a shirt at the swimming pool forever. 40. A literary guy hollowed out her favorite vintage book to hide the ring inside. He gave her the book as a gift and waited for her to open it. She was a collector and was horrified that he destroyed a first edition. She started crying about the ruined pages and threw the book across the room. The ring flew out and hit the dog in the eye. She didn't even notice the jewelry because she was mourning the book. She told him he had no respect for literature and kicked him out. He learned that destroying property is not romantic. He spent Christmas alone reading a paperback while she tried to tape the pages back together. 41. A seafood lover wanted to propose at a fancy lobster restaurant. He slipped the ring onto the claw of a live lobster in the tank. He paid the waiter to bring that specific lobster to the table. The chef made a mistake and boiled the wrong lobster. The waiter brought out a steaming red lobster with the ring melted onto the claw. The girlfriend screamed because the plastic diamond setting had fused with the shell. The manager had to use heavy pliers to cut the ring off the dead crustacean. The smell of burnt plastic ruined the appetite of everyone in the room. He proposed with a claw in his hand. 42. A hopeful pilot hired a skywriter to write the proposal in the clouds. He took his girlfriend to a high rooftop for the best view. The wind was blowing at 50 miles per hour that day. The letters blew away almost instantly as they were written. It ended up looking like a giant white smear across the sky. a bird flew directly into the plane engine and forced an emergency landing. The news helicopter circled the plane instead of filming the couple. She stood on the roof freezing for 20 minutes, staring at smoke. She asked him why he brought her up there to watch pollution. 43. A musical boyfriend hired a high school marching band to barge into her office. He wanted them to play her favorite love song loudly. The bandleader got the room number wrong and marched into a serious board meeting. The company owner was firing someone when the trumpet started blasting. The boyfriend danced in wearing a tuxedo while the boss looked furious. The security guards tackled the tuba player, thinking it was a protest. The girlfriend hid under her desk in pure embarrassment. He was banned from the building, and she got a warning from Human Resources. The band still demanded full payment for the performance. 44. A cozy guy hid the ring inside a giant homemade marshmallow for her hot cocoa. He watched eagerly as she took a sip of the steaming drink. The marshmallow melted much faster than he anticipated. The heavy ring sank to the bottom of the mug unnoticed. She drank the entire cup and tilted it back for the last drop. The ring slid out and hit her squarely in the teeth. She thought she had chipped a tooth and spat the ring into the sink. It went straight down the drain before he could stop her. He had to take the plumbing apart on Christmas morning. 45. A gamer bought his girlfriend a virtual reality headset to show her a digital proposal. She put the goggles on and started walking through the beautiful virtual garden. In the real world, she was walking toward the top of the stairs. He tried to grab her, but tripped over the messy cables. She tumbled down the entire flight of stairs while still wearing the headset. She landed in a heap, thinking the fall was part of the game. She broke her arm, and he had to drive her to the hospital. She broke up with him because the graphics were too realistic. 46. A quirky man trained a parrot for 6 months to say, "Will you marry me?" He invited his girlfriend over for a quiet dinner with the bird. The parrot got nervous seeing a new person and forgot the line. Instead, the bird started repeating bad words it heard from the television. It screamed insults at the girlfriend for 10 minutes straight. The boyfriend tried to cover the cage, but the bird bit his finger. Blood dripped on the floor while the bird called the girlfriend ugly. She left in tears, and the bird finally said the proposal to the empty room. 47. A wannabe celebrity rented a stretch limo to cruise around the city lights. He stood up through the sunroof with the ring to shout his love. The driver didn't see a low-hanging concrete beam in the parking garage. The boyfriend ducked at the last second, but the ring box did not. The box hit the beam and exploded into pieces. The diamond bounced off the hood of a passing police car. The officer pulled them over for littering and reckless behavior. They spent hours searching the garage floor with flashlights. The limo company charged him for the dented roof and the ruined night. 48. A dedicated builder spent a week constructing a real ice igloo in the backyard. He lit candles inside to make it romantic and warm. The heat from the candles and their bodies melted the structural support. As he pulled out the ring, the entire roof collapsed on them. They were trapped under hundreds of pounds of heavy, wet snow. The neighbors heard their muffled screams and had to dig them out with shovels. They emerged blue and shivering with hypothermia. The ring was lost in the slush until spring thaw. She told him she preferred a warm house over a death trap. 49. A traditionalist hung a sprig of mistletoe in the doorway with the ring tied to it. He lifted his girlfriend up for a kiss and to see the jewelry. He lost his balance and fell backward while holding her. They crashed into the grandmother who was carrying the gravy boat. Hot gravy covered all three of them and the expensive carpet. The dog ran over to lick the gravy off the grandmother's face. The ring fell off the mistletoe and the dog ate it immediately. The family spent the rest of Christmas waiting for the dog to return the ring. If you think your love life is tragic, just remember, At least you didn't propose to a hungry bear. Smash that like button and share this with a friend who needs a laugh. Subscribe right now to avoid these disasters yourself. Question of the day. Would you say yes if the ring was inside a dead fish? Let us know in the comments below. And do not click off. This next video on the screen is even crazier than this one. Watch it now.